Hello, welcome back. Good evening. Is it really good though? Not really. Today's a really bad day. It's bad enough to the point where I think it's maybe, just maybe, time to end the cycle. It's not over till it's over though, because yeah, I know where we are. 95,000 with Bitcoin. We dropped to a low of 93,900 today, which sucks. Nobody likes to see this. People are obviously, the ones that were bearish were obviously rejoicing like, haha, see, I told you so. Sure, whatever. I bought the entry that I missed by a couple of dollars last time I streamed yesterday. Yeah, that finally got overfilled, and I mean, we dipped a lot further down since then. I guess the only good news is that my average price has now dropped to 105,519, which that's still a resistance, by the way. It just keeps getting worse. And I'm out of funds by now, so 100% out of money. Right? Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see. I like to pull out money where I don't have it, so what do I do here? What is next? What am I planning to do here? What am I seeing in these markets? Is it over? Is the 4-year cycle over? Was 126,000 the top? We're going to be discussing all of that in tonight's stream, so get ready. We will also be discussing tariff deals that have been announced with Switzerland and all that. Trump reducing some tariffs on certain grocery items when it comes to affordability and all this kind of stuff. We're also going to be talking a little bit more about Jeffrey Epstein and also why things have been crashing in general. We'll be looking at what has caused us to be where we are today. It's not just the crypto markets, but stock markets are also crashing today. So this time it's justified, so to speak, although not really, because what's the real reason that we're crashing here? There's a couple of reasons, but in my opinion, the positives still outweigh the negatives. Am I still bullish at this point? I'm questioning myself, but for now, yes, I am still bullish. Why? Why would you ask? Have I looked at the weekly chart? Have I not seen that you see this negative flip in the super trend, and you know what happens when that happens? It's the end of the bull cycle, usually. Let me go to a USDT chart. Usually when this happens, you know, we flip the weekly super trend downward. We are about to enter a bear market, right? Well, I mean, this one was a false positive, right? Or negative, I don't know. That happened in 2021 because we eventually did recover and make another all-time high. I'm not saying that this is going to play out. It could, but I'm not saying specifically this. What I'm more focused on is the candlesticks right now, the individual candlestick that we are on right now. And I'm comparing historical data, 2021, December, for example. This is when it actually flipped bearish. That has nothing to do with where we are right now, but bottom line is this candle, the weekly candle that we are currently seeing, is at 95,444, right? And that is why the super trend has flipped red. Just barely. And it's pointing out 131,000 as a resistance, which is crazy, but that's besides the point. The fact is, we have not finished this week's candle yet. It closes on Sunday, as we know. And all we gotta do to keep this super trend green, it can repaint, by the way. All we gotta do to keep it green is to stay above 96,113. That's all we gotta do. Can we do that? I think we can. Come on. Come on now. Just 1,000 away. Okay, Saturday we know is low volatility, but maybe we get like a slightly recovery, right? Maybe, just maybe. And then things might still be in play. That would mean two things: that the upcoming week will be very crucial because it's going to be the actual make or break of, you know, price is obviously going to move in another week from now. And whether that's to the downside or to the upside is what will remain to be seen if, you know, what I'm hoping for here does play out correctly. I know you guys are also using other indicators on the weekly charts to help determine the bull market trend, such as I was told the 50 moving average yesterday Yeah, we have kind of broken below that, but not really closing out the week on here. I don't remember, was it I think it was the weekly chart, right? Yeah, not the daily chart. So same deal, right? I think that level was at 103,000. Same deal. I don't think we're going to close all the way up there, but hey, at least above 96,000 by Saturday, by tomorrow, right? By Sunday, surely that happens. Slight recovery. We've been down for 3 weeks in a row. Just give us a break, right? That could be the case. So that's what I'm expecting here. And if we are indeed going to be closing above this area, right, the super trend will still remain green. And that is what's going to be most important, right? From here, whatever recoveries we make, even if it takes a while, I don't like how long I drew this line for because that's already in March, April of next year. I don't know. I don't even know what to expect for 2026. I am a little underwhelmed that 126,000 was the top. I'm being honest here. I want more. It's leaving me wanting more. I want the 135,000 that I was hoping for. It seemed to me that that was such an easy level to reach, which, I mean, we're at 126. That was literally 9,000 away. People were expecting 150,000. That I was like, okay, it's doable still. I mean, given the pace that we were rising at the beginning of October, it looked like all of that was possible. But now, not so much, is it? But things can turn around, I think, at least by the end of this year. I was hoping that November would be where our cycle top was, but it's been nothing but down so far, and we are smack halfway through the month, November 14 today. So what much more is there to expect in another 15 days for us to hit another all-time high? In my opinion, doesn't seem so likely anymore. So yeah, I'll take my words back in that sense. Or maybe I'm speaking too soon. Who knows? Maybe we get surprised toward the upside. One could hope, right? Right now, my sentiment is that I just want to get out of here as soon as possible. If this thing turns green, I'm out. Like, I'm putting a stop loss and letting it do its thing, or if I see it's overbought, I'm out. But I don't know if that is the right attitude to have over here. And go back to the 4-hour chart. We've kind of stabilized over here. I mean, yeah, the drops do keep going lower and lower each time, but in these recent hours, we have no wick toward the downside. That's a good thing. Hopefully, we should be able to use this as a... It seems like everything seemed like a bottom. Like every little dead cat bounce that we had over here seemed like a bottom to me. When we had this drop to 97,000, I was like, dude, I missed the entry from here, and I thought we were going to rise back up, but no. This, we do have the super trend in the red in the 4-hour chart, so that's what we're going to have to follow for now, and once again, it's at a resistance. My entry price is at the resistance, right? 105,000, so still on its way down. I think we can go up above at least the 96,000. What is the exact level? I want to draw it out over here, just so that we could stress the importance of that level. So it's 96. Is it really not going to show me? 96, 145.5. And I think on the USDT chart, it was slightly 96, 145 versus 96, 113. That's a $30 difference. Who cares? $30 in Bitcoin is nothing. They're relatively about the same, right? So as long as we can stay above that, this red line, oh boy, the order thing is here now. As long as we can stay above that and close out the week above this red line, I have so many red lines, but trust me, this red line, then we should be good. We should be good. We should still be in the game. So that's what I'm expecting on here. I've already bought, like I said, over here, 97,887 was my filled price. And I don't think I bought anything else. I canceled the orders, that's why it shows nothing here. I was like, dude, alts are probably going to crash even harder, right? Well, I was wrong, actually. Alts did not crash that bad. I did something on Hyperliquid where I just closed out at very, very tiny profit. I think I may or may not have covered that. No, I did not. I just closed it today. It was slightly in the green, like $5 or $6. So I just decided to remove the position from there. Might regret it, might not. We'll have to see. I'm waiting for new pivot levels, honestly, because this downtrend seems like it doesn't want to stop downing, right? It invalidates at 43.80 for hyperliquid, but the downtrend is clear, so not going to touch it. It sucks. Now I don't have work either, so what do I do? No money anywhere. No money to cover for any form of debt. I do have to get out of here somehow on these markets. Exit with some sort of a profit, right? What would I do? By the way, my liquidation price on Bitcoin, it's not that far off, 85,000. About 10,000 away from where we are here. At this rate, it's looking like we could hit it at any moment, but no, I think we'll be fine. I think I'm fine there with my liquidation price. I'm tired. Let's move on to Ethereum. 3,172 is the current price. I could have put an order here. I was even looking at this level for a while now. And same deal. I was also looking at the fact that we did not make a lower low ever since this low on November 4. But, I mean, we really got close to it today. We hit a low of 3,064.36 compared to the low of November 4. That was 3,047. So from 3,047 to 3,064, it's only $20 off. Really, really close to continuously, you know, making lower lows, which seems more and more likely as time goes on. This downtrend invalidates at 3,675, you could round it up to. So Ethereum does have a long way to go here as well. At 4,000 resistance, really far from here. I'm not going to touch Ethereum, I'm just going to leave it there. I got liquidated at 2,415. I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine for here. Solana, it's, well, we had that order filled at 143. Still on its way down little by little. 142.17 is the current price. Downtrend invalidates at 165. My average entry is 171. I don't have any more for Solana. If I was to enter more somewhere, I probably would buy more in Solana. We hit a low of 135 today. Numbers that I thought we would no longer see. Yet here we are. Don't forget, Solana dropped to 95 on an April 7 crash. I don't think we're going to be going that low, although a lot of other tokens are as low as their April 7 crashes. A lot of other altcoins. Looking specifically at Sui over here. Sui is 177 right now. On April 7, we're at 171. That's where I had this low point, and we actually broke through below that. It's not looking good for Sui either. But what do I even do at this point? Not much. We dropped to a low of 170 today. Yeah, that's a new low. Ignoring, of course, October 10. Forget October 10. Doesn't exist. Never happened. That being said, I get liquidated at 156. It's not too far off, huh? And I also was sharing posts about the guy that was spreading foot about. He seems to be going one by one on each altcoin. And he talked about Sui, and it was not positive, so that's not a good sign. I know, right? I care so much about someone's online opinion of a token that I hold. But yeah, anyways, we'll get to it eventually when we reach our news section. Oversold territory for Sui. Not currently though. We were over here at 173, sub 173. If you were lucky enough to get that. I don't even know at this point. Right now, I just want to feel like I want to hold on to Bitcoin, and that is it. And just go back to spot. I want to quit futures and just go back to spot. I feel like I might just do that, although I probably won't. I say that I'm going to do this, but then, like, when it actually comes to that time of, you know, everything's recovered and I have my money back, and what am I going to do next? I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing here and forget about what I talked about right here. But what I'm planning on doing is buy Bitcoin on spot, short markets, or not even just shorting, but literally short-term trades. That's what I mean. Anything in the 5-minute charts to find entries, that kind of deal. Gamble the money away with proper risk management, right? 1 to 3 risk reward ratios. You get the point. And any little gains that I make, I'll just throw them onto Bitcoin on the spot market, no matter what the price is. I'll use that as my DCAing, right? So I'll trade to DCA into Bitcoin. That's kind of what I'm planning on. And of course, if I just end up losing the capital, then so be it. I don't think you need more than 2,000 to trade comfortably. So that's something that I could manage. And if I do end up blowing an account, which shouldn't happen with proper risk management, if I'm risking 1% per trade kind of deal, I make 3% for every positive trade that I make, you know, that kind of stuff. I think it should work out fine. And that trading that I'm doing would be on altcoins that are more volatile, because these altcoins that I have selected here, with the exclusion of Ethereum, it's only volatile toward the downside. But these other altcoins, they do tend to move really well, right? And that's the kind of volatility you do need, especially if you're trading short term, to, you know, maximize the profits as much as you can. You do need some of that movement, that push, right? So I feel like it could work out in that sense, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna have to also like either refine one of my old strategies or just come up with a new one entirely that will actually work. So once again, I'm gonna have to go through the painful process of back testing and all that kind of stuff. That's the plan, at least, for if we do indeed go into a bear market. So I'm prepared for that. I talked about Hyperliquid. Let's move on to BitTensor. Hey, look at that. This got filled today. November 14, 7 a.m. At 319 is where I got my order filled. We actually dropped to a low of 312. Not even oversold. That is crazy. But hey, we did significantly drop my average price on BitTensor to 356. Remember, this was at 402. So dropping it from 402 to 356, that's a win in my books. And I mean, this kind of little projection that I had drawn over here, we're currently testing this short-term downtrend. Can we get this out of the way, please? Can I just, yeah, there we go. The current price is 339. To get to the 356 that I am at, that's not too far off, and my entry price is no longer a resistance, meaning that if we do approach the resistance, I will be in profit, and I will probably take the profit. That's the kind of ideal I want to see here. Bouncing off of course, an important support and possible uptrend. I say possible because what even happened on October 10 over here, we're going to ignore that as well, so we'll wait and see how this plays out. We need more time. But I like it. I like where I'm at with BitTensor so far. Probably one of my more favorite entries. Moving on. I talked about Sui here. It's painful. No entry for it yet. I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to leave it there. If it gets liquidated at 156, congratulations. You made an all-time low. And also what the guy said on crypto Twitter about Sui not being good. Might as well just read it if I could find it. This guy. He's been talking about everything, right? I went through all the rest of these, Polkadot, Avalanche, etc. Aptos he also talked about. Now he's talking about Sui here. They raised $405 million. Can't name a single innovative app that people actually use. I almost said Bluefin. Oh my gosh. No, what is it? Something fish. Blue fish. Fish, blue, whale, blue whale. No, not even I know then. That's crazy. What's the Sui Dex? Come on. Sui Dex, Bluefin. I'm pretty sure it's Bluefin. Is it Blue Move? No, it is Bluefin. I was right. I thought Bluefin was the exchange. No, that's a Blowfin, I think. Blowfin exchange, right? Yeah, that is an exchange. Okay, so I was just mixing my terms up. Yes, that is a real thing. Okay. Fake news. But still, because of all the incentives, it's literally just a wash trading hub. I don't know about that. They also do have meme coins out here. Have you seen my favorite one? Not for any particular reason at all, but it's It's so funny. It's Sui side, right? So because Sui the coin and then side, and it spells out suicide, which is it's supposed to be funny. Okay, I don't care. Whatever. It's only used by bots and a few people who think they're farming an airdrop. But since the ecosystem keeps airdropping to itself, even the remaining retail have started to lose hope. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like other than those two, that's the only things I know that are really built on Sui. Weren't they like doing something with Bitcoin for DeFi? Something was happening. But yeah, honestly, if you do ask me, I'm blanking over here when it comes to what is Sui actually doing anymore. You basically need to be a dollar millionaire to run a validator. Somehow, crime. It's sitting at $17 billion fully diluted value. Every month, at least 65 million Suis get unlocked. Yeah, we know that. 63% of the total supply is still locked, which means infinite sell pressure. It has completed its only purpose, making VCs richer. Sui's going to 0. I don't know about that. Maybe a dead cat bounce, push it above 230, and we should be good, right? I've got a lot in here, so I can't afford another loss like this, but if it does, so be it. Hey, big whales, my liquidation price is 156. Stop hunt me. Go for it. Chainlink, down 2.5% today. My order would have gotten filled. I did have it over here, but I removed it because I'm scared. I don't want to put money here yet. Matter of fact, it can continue dropping, and because we're not even oversold. Next level I'm looking at is 1177, which is already painfully close to my next liquidation price on Chainlink as well. For the time being, my average entry is at a resistance 1659, stuck there. Gonna have to wait for Chainlink to do its thing as well. Man, everything is just dropping today, isn't it? Aptos 0% movement today, one of the few maintaining its uptrend. And look, I so far I've kind of called it that would be able to maintain it as long as we stay above 276, which we have. So this is just a simple readjustment in the uptrend, and it still looks healthy in my opinion. But the macro market is not looking good, meaning that this could probably just drop to our next level, 261. Not oversold yet, so no money from me. I already made some profit over here, which is probably going to get eaten up by, I don't know, Bitcoin getting liquidated, but we'll see. Still got hope, in my opinion. We have some analysis as well from analysts that we'll be talking about in our news section on whether or not it's all over, what we should do, what has been happening. So let's get to it. Our first breaking news, Switzerland has agreed to invest $200 billion in the United States as part of a new trade deal. This is why tariffs are good. They will be also purchasing more Boeing planes, and US tariffs will be reduced from 39% to 15%. What's in it for them? Like, I don't know. It just seems like they're giving us a lot of stuff, and the only thing that's in it for them is they get a tariff reduction. Tariffs are still there. Whatever. It's their problem, but good for the United States is what it looks like. White House says that President Trump is signing an executive order that will reduce tariffs on beef, tomatoes, coffee, and bananas. And there's more stuff as well. I think I read pineapples and other tropical fruits. The move is aimed at lowering costs on groceries amid persistent food inflation. Because there's the argument where, I don't know, Trump says that there's virtually no inflation. Other people say, no, the inflation index is on the rise. At the same time, you don't have any economic data at all for the past month and a half. And then on top of that, other people say the opposite. Like, yeah, no, we genuinely don't have inflation. It's on its way down. So which is it? Other people say, no, grocery prices are still too high. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a big proponent of that. So Trump finally seems to have caved here, and he's like, you know what, fine. I'm going to do my best. We're going to lower tariffs on all those food items to reduce the grocery prices, because that seems to be another big concern over here, especially when it comes to, I don't have the post pulled up. I think he did talk about the affordability thing that the Democrats are going all over here, and probably why they won recent elections, right? I think I could look it up, might as well. Affordability. Trump would have talked about it on a Truth Social post if I recall. Yeah, it's an effort to bring down food prices in America as voters voice concerns about affordability. I'm pretty sure he talked about it in a Truth Social post, which I want to try to pull up. Inflation here. No inflation under Trump. Biden had runaway inflation, and under Trump inflation kind of came down. I don't know. It's up to you to decide that. Where's the Trump Truth Social post? I don't think I'm going to find it. Should be over here then. Did you talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, he did. Wow. 56 minutes ago. This is also breaking news. That is crazy. Look at this. This is literally coming out just now. I don't know if I want to read all it, but here we go. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman, in air quotes, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, wow. Of the great state of Georgia. I also, on a side note, I also heard him talk about her while he was on a plane flight somewhere. She was criticizing the fact that Trump was always traveling and not focusing on the internal affairs of America. But Trump said, yeah, but we got to focus on the stuff that is impacting America from the outside. And that is why he is traveling. And he doesn't like what Marjorie Taylor Greene has been commenting about him. So now here we are. Look at this post. That is crazy. He commented that it was an audio only thing. Not interview, but just news reporters asking him stuff on a plane. Okay, that's all it was. And it happened today. He says, over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no man and woman sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world, as opposed to being the laughingstock that we were just 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the United States, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more, all I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. I partially agree. I don't know. Trump also mentioned, by the way, that he did notice that she seems to be maybe going toward the other team. And by that, I mean to the Democrats. So, well, here we go. He says, it seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and she didn't have a chance, unless of course she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. That is why, probably one of the catalysts, why Marjorie Taylor Greene started going against Trump little by little here. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. Wow. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. That's crazy. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they are too fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She's gone far left, even doing The View, which I also talked about, by the way, with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Whoopi, what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg? The black lady? Yeah, crazy woman. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Okay, crazy. Wow. I didn't even notice this happened. Rest in peace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, it looks like. Here he's also talking about Thomas Massie. By the way, I'm pretty sure he doesn't like her as well because of what's happening next week. The Epstein files are probably going to be voted to be released. Seems like a lot of Republicans are on board with it this time around, but the main 4 have been Nancy Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and someone Boebert. Lindsay Boebert? Something? I don't remember the names, but yeah. Of course, Trump does not like Thomas Massie. I'm pretty sure he does like Nancy Mace, though, I think. I don't know. What is all this? What is all this yappage? Aerospace? No one cares. Where is the one where you said affordability? Here. Yes, it's literally this. Okay, this is the post I wanted to originally find. That whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing was a huge tangent. Sorry about it. But back to the main topic. Where were we? Just for context. Right. So tariffs. We're reducing tariffs on the food for affordability. Trump says that cost and inflation were far higher under the sleepy Joe Biden administration than they are now. In fact, costs under the Trump administration are tumbling down, helped greatly by gasoline and energy, which is true, right? You focus on reducing the price of gas, it's cheaper to transport things everywhere, the prices of those things start coming down. Good. Affordability is a lie when used by the Democrats. It's a complete con job. Thanksgiving costs are 25% lower this year than last under Crooked Joe. We are the party of affordability. And this is the key word that's being thrown around, affordability. Because like I said, the Democrats in recent elections, the mayoral election in New York, some other elections in Georgia? No, somewhere. I don't remember. But yeah, they had recent elections victories and they ran on affordability, saying that Republicans are not doing a good job. Vote for us instead. And people seem to be frustrated enough to have gone ahead and voted for the Democrats in recent times. So Trump is now trying to be like, no, that is us. We are the party of affordability, not the Democrats. They're doing everything in their power. Okay, with the Epstein hoax. We'll talk about Epstein in a second. Is this a duplicate? It's literally a duplicate. What is this, Trump? Okay, anyway, moving on. So yeah, there we go. Confirmed. Trump signs the executive order eliminating tariffs on beef, coffee, and tropical fruits. Here it is. The Democrat wins in Virginia and New Jersey off your elections. Those were the two others, apart from the New York City mayoral election. The rollback responds to voter concerns over high prices, cited as the top issue in recent elections. Coffee surged 80% from year 23 to 24. Beef prices remain near records. The major beneficiaries will be Starbucks, McDonald's. By the way, the McRib, something like that, is coming out, which a lot of people are talking about. I don't understand the hype, but I guess it exists. Chipotle Mexican Grill, Kroger, which is Kellogg's and cereal and stuff like that. Walmart. Those stocks will see lower input costs. The move marks selective reversal of Trump's protectionist trade agenda ahead of 2026 midterms. That's another thing they're going to have to focus on now, right, is the midterms. So it seems like they're doing everything they can to be like, look, we are the affordability party, not the Democrats. Don't vote for them because they want to stay in power. What else happened here? Beef tariffs affected Australian and New Zealand imports. Coffee duties hit Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam. 60% of the U.S. supply comes from there. So we'll see if the companies do indeed reduce those prices. Epstein, let's go. Love talking about this guy. President Trump announces that he will be directing the DOJ and FBI to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with some suspicious people. Trump says that now that the Democrats are using Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan, Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam, with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men, and many others, spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. Why not Trump? I'm pretty sure Trump is in there too. There were more emails that came out as well, and it just gets worse. The rabbit hole is incredible, but I think we're going to save all of that for like a later date, because otherwise we're going to be talking about this guy every day. Every day there's new emails that keep popping up from Jeffrey Epstein to his spouse, Ghislaine Maxwell, talking about all these people, right? Trump is a dog that hasn't barked, or Bill Clinton gave a nickname to Bill Clinton. and that Trump was blowing him, something like that, or whatever. It's all random, weird, we don't know what's going to happen stuff. And allegedly, more emails that came out revealed that Jeffrey Epstein linked money. The money that was linked to Jeffrey Epstein helped fund early Bitcoin core development. This guy probably knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. What? So there's that crazy stuff. But like I said, I'm probably gonna leave all of it till like whenever we get the vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, if we ever do. I'm pretty sure people are sick and tired of hearing about it, and we're like, you know what, just get it over with, release it. Whoever's innocent is innocent, whoever's guilty is guilty. So yeah, just do it, in my opinion. Step toward regulatory clarity. Is it too early to talk about this? Maybe. The Senate Agriculture Committee just released its portion of the market structure bill, bringing the U.S. closer to clear rules for digital assets. The key takeaways are that they will define which agencies oversee which assets. This all has to do with Clarity Act, right? It requires the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. I think that's what it was. Oh, Financial Trading Commission. Yeah. I think that's what the F stand for. And the SEC coordination. It establishes consumer protections and registration rules, creates the framework institutions need to build. Senator John Boozman says the CFTC is the right agency to regulate spot digital commodity trading, and it is essential to establish clear rules for the emerging crypto market while also protecting consumers. While this bill focuses on digital commodities, the push for regulatory clarity benefits the entire tokenization industry. And if you know tokenization industry, Ondo Finance is a big part of that. RWA plays. Picture of a bear, because we have bearish stuff to talk about. People take this as bearish. The 50-year mortgages that was just announced, and also the 15-year car mortgages. Loans, I mean, not mortgages on cars. But yeah. Bitcoin below 95,000. Michael Burry, I think that was his name. What's his name, Michael? Come on, man. Whatever, Burry, you know him. Betting against AI, shorting Palantir and Nvidia, we know. We had the worst layoffs in October. Worst October layoffs in 20 years. Jobs and inflation data will be missing, confirmed by Caroline Leavitt. We will probably not see that data. I watched that White House press meeting, by the way. Yeah. S&P on pace for the worst November since 2008. I mean, yeah, at this rate, everything has just only been crashing. So, can things turn around for the second half of the month? It's kind of what I'm hoping for. We'll have to wait and see. It's not starting off beautifully, though. So far today, $1.45 trillion wiped out from the stock and crypto market in 24 hours. The real reason why everything is dumping, it's not random volatility. There are three very clear triggers, is what they say. Buy the rumor, sell the news. When it comes to the government shutdown, the whole market pumped in expectation of the U.S. government shutdown ending. I remember that. I was part of it. Bitcoin ran to 107 to 108,000 on the rumor. And with the actual news hit, it turned into straight profit taking. Classic move. That is true. The second reason, October data blackout, means panic. The White House openly said October unemployment and economic data cannot be released. The market is reading this as, okay, well, maybe the data is very bad, or the US might already be in a recession, because you're never going to confirm or deny that unless you have the data, right? And when the growth data is hitting the GDP, markets assume the worst. I believe they're handling it pretty poorly. Just release the data, even if it's bad. Give us the hard truth. Let us crash in peace or rise if we deserve it. The bond market is also flashing a major warning. Corporate bonds, especially the ones tied to AI companies, are getting dumped aggressively. The bond market is basically saying AI spending is out of control and it is not sustainable. Maybe Mr. Burry was right. And because AI stocks have been holding the entire equity market up, any stress there gets amplified in crypto, which is true. We do see the correlation there. Put all three together, you get the exact setup we're seeing now. Stocks fall, crypto falls harder, the total market cap wipes out hundreds of billions in days. This is why the market dumped. The good thing is that if the stock market will dump alongside crypto, the Fed and the US government will act fast because Trump loves to brag about the stock market. We all know this. He will always say, look, under my administration, stock market's been hitting all-time highs. Well, as soon as he said that, after he signed the government shutdown ending, well, things started crashing. And it's going to be noticeable at this point. He does care about the stock market. It's clear. He says he doesn't, but he obviously does. So he's going to have to do something, surely. And the Fed as well. Maybe we do get our rate cuts that we really want. Of that trillions of dollars that was wiped out from the total combined market cap, 200 billion has been erased from the crypto market cap in the last 24 hours. Note, this is not liquidations. This is just general money leaving all of the cryptocurrencies, right? Which, yeah, we already know why. There was also a big rumor today that didn't really help. The fact that MicroStrategy is selling their Bitcoins. Uh-oh. That's not a good thing, is it? Well, no, they confirmed it's fake. It's not real. What happened is that people saw 58,915 Bitcoins, which is a good portion of what they have. They have 600,000, by the way. So they moved almost 59,000 in total, which is $5.77 billion, to new custody wallets. People thought that they were moving it around to sell it, but no, it was just custody wallets. And Michael Saylor himself has denied the rumors, saying that there is no base. There's no something. It doesn't make sense. The rumors, it's fake. He also came out to say that Strategy will report their next Bitcoin buys on Monday morning, which he always does that. And he says that people will be pleasantly surprised, adding that we have been accelerating our purchases. He even confirms it here, saying that we bought Bitcoin every day this week. Now that's what I like to hear. And look at that, we're already pumping. No, yeah, but that's one thing I noticed from MicroStrategy, the company, is the fact that their Bitcoin buys were just painfully low. It's like their stock prices at very, very low points. They're not buying a lot. Are they running out of money? Their earnings are not looking good as well. What's going on with MicroStrategy? Will they be able to survive this? Their average price, I think, is what, 75,000 Bitcoin. So they're fine. They're still in profit for now. But, I mean, the unrealized gains from our all-time high to where we are now, it's a couple $2 billion that he's missing out there. So what's really going on here? Why isn't MicroStrategy buying more? Well, we'll see if he lets us down this week. On Monday, he'll show us how much he has been purchasing. And by the looks of it, it seems like a lot. Oh my gosh, what does this guy want? Peter Schiff. I wonder how much lower it would have fallen without your buying. That is also true, right? Maybe we're being saved by Michael Saylor here. I also do wonder, the ETFs. Get out of here. ETF, where are you? Oh, that is not good. $866 million in outflows yesterday. Almost $300 million in outflows the day before. That's over $1 billion outflow from ETFs. We love the ETFs, don't we? How about Ethereum? Oh, it's even worse. Well, relative to Ethereum's price action, of course. 107 million left on... What happened on November 10? Nobody did anything. Nobody bought, nobody sold. What? Anyway, November 11, 12, 13, sold off 107 million, 183 million, 259 million. Today, so far, it's 4 million. That's not too good. But yeah, well, there you go. ETFs, they bring the volume, whether that's toward the upside or toward the downside. So, love them or hate them, they're there. We're really close to this red line, guys. This is the only thing that makes me believe that, you know what, maybe the cycle is not indeed over just yet because of where the weekly candle will close. If we can close above 96,145, we should be good. Or 160, whatever it was on the other USDT chart. It's roughly around the same. You get the point. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, ETFs have not been helping with the crash. Matter of fact, they've been pushing down, which Michael Saylor's like, that's fine, I'll just buy more. Which that's the attitude to have. But traders are, this is not good. Traders are pricing in a 73% chance of Bitcoin falling below $90,000 according to Polymarket. 73% of people agree that Bitcoin will go below 90,000. That's not good for my liquidation price. I liquidated at 85,000, so it's not gonna look pretty. I'm not gonna be happy to see like a drawdown of 20,000 or whatever it's gonna be. Or maybe, you know, if it does go there, I'll just buy more. I don't know. Ignore the noise, though. We are back to the point where the top is in has become the consensus everywhere. We have extreme fear sentiment readings that have become a daily occurrence. That is also facts. Let's look at the fear and greed index here. Yeah, that is extreme fear. Number 16 on the fear and greed index. We should be buying when people are fearful. Isn't that what Warren Buffett told us? Anyway, I think that's what he said. I don't even know who says the quote. Anyways, large cap technology stocks are down 10 to 20% after running 100% plus. These are all hallmark signs of a technical correction and a broader uptrend. If we zoom out and capitalize on periods of emotional weakness in price, fundamentals remain strong for asset owners. I hope this is not just hopium and it is indeed the facts, because I really do need that to be true. But yeah, more on the fear and greed thing, extreme fear, where we are right now. Crypto sentiment just hit 15, 16, same stuff. Yet, or that was the lowest since March. Everyone feels like the sky is falling, myself included. Yet Bitcoin is still grinding higher on the multi-year macro trend. I hate the logarithmic scale, but I get the point. This is exactly how bottoms feel in real time. Sentiment collapses first, prices collapse last, and then the recoveries start quietly. So if we zoom out, the fear is loud, but the signal is still pointing up, not the top signal. There's your little bit of hopium if you really need it. Harvard is also buying, by the way. Not directly on Bitcoin, but they're buying through BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin ETF. They increased their holdings by 257% between June and September of 2025. Okay, so it's not recent buys. That means they're also in a negative drawdown right now. If they bought between June and September, we're all down. Its shares of the Bitcoin ETF rose from 1.9 million to 6.8 million, bringing the total value to $442.8 million. Keep in mind as well that Harvard also said, oh, Bitcoin is a worthless garbage and we're never going to buy that, back when Bitcoin was $10,000. Well, now it's 100,000 and they're FOMOing in. So it happens to the smartest people in the smartest universities. Who's to say it won't happen to silly Joe down the street? Am I right? Speaking of the ETFs, this is really funny. It made me laugh. The company that shows all this ETF, well, not this one. This one, Farside Co. UK Investors, where I see like where the ETF flows are looking like for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. They commented on the XRP ETF that, by the way, was released yesterday and nobody cared. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF flow tracker, Fireside Investors, say that they have no interest in covering the XRP ETF, meaning that, get out of here, we're not going to see the XRP Ripple ETF flows. Probably ever. Why? What is going on? And they said, yeah, please stop emailing us asking for a Ripple ETF's flow monitor. We have no interest in covering Ripple. This is the official account on Twitter, by the way. That's crazy. That is crazy. But, oh well. At least we have the Solana one. And I don't mind it. I don't really care too much about XRP ETFs or XRP in itself. But, I mean, it would be nice to see, but fine, whatever. We can just maybe use another website for it. I mean, so far, I didn't have the post saved, but who was it? Canary? Canary XRP ETF, how much did they inflow? $245 million worth of XRP was inflowed in one day since it came out. And did that have an impact on XRP's price? No, of course not. What, are you crazy? What, you think XRP ETF is gonna... Whatever, you get the point. Moving on. We're getting more ETFs. I covered how many more are coming out in yesterday's stream, so just a matter of time. Wait for all this to blow over, and then we should have a solid structure to continue higher. We should, right? All these fundamentals, like I said, they're so positive. It just doesn't make sense for us to be crashing. But yeah, the reasons that I read before, fair enough. We'll suffer for a bit. As long as we can close this week above 96,000. By the way, we are at that level. Good. Right where we are right here. If we can just close this week right here, like just don't move the price at all. Literally, go to the weekly chart. Go to the weekly chart. No negative super trend. It's gone. As easy as that. Okay, it's back. But you know, we're fluctuating around that price. But as easy as that is, you see it's gone now. We would still be in an uptrend. We would still be in this bull run. And we can continue higher. That's all I'm asking for here, is just a confirmation from that. And to get the official confirmation of it, we need the 2 days to pass. Slow day Saturday, and then Sunday where we get new pivot levels. And I don't know at what time. That's going to be subjective because I think this thing uses Singapore time zone for whatever reason. It's either that or I have to use UTC. And then with daylight savings that we have over here, we lost an hour of time for the cows or something. Whatever we do this time change for. Doesn't make sense. The sun sets at 4:30 and, you know, 5 o'clock, it's already night outside. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's a different rant for a different day. Yeah, the times now here, if I go to like a 4-hour chart, it's not consistent with 4 hours. Like, the 4-hour chart should be 0 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8, 12, 16, 24, which is 0, right? Here it's 11, 3, 7, 11, 3, 7, 11, 3, 7. That is so inconsistent, and I hate it. So, that's just me being picky, but who cares? Okay, back to the normal news again. The Bank of England's new stablecoin proposal is out. Bank of England softened some earlier ideas, but the industry says it's still too restrictive. Yeah, England's got a lot of work on. Get the new guy in, the Reform Party guy. He's going to be pro-crypto and assign a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That'll be good. Apparently the UK does have a bit of Bitcoin. I don't know how much, but it's less than 100,000, obviously. But they have some. From seized assets, of course, but they just haven't declared it as a strategic reserve yet. They just have it somewhere, and who knows? It's either they make it into a strategic reserve and buy more, or they just do what Germany did and dump it at $50,000, which was so smart of them, by the way. No, really not. They're stupid for doing that. They should have sold at 100,000. Actually, no, I'm glad they sold earlier back then, because now we don't got to worry about them potentially selling anymore. We don't got to worry about the US doing anything like that. They have 300,000 Bitcoins. It's in a strategic reserve, so we don't got to worry about them selling off. Cypherpunk, which I've talked about before, who is trying to accumulate 5% of Zcash's total supply. They came out with a little bit of an update saying our initial acquisition totaled 203,000 Zcash coins, purchased for approximately $50 million at an average price of $245 per Zcash token. We Zodal, I guess that's what they're calling it now instead of HODL, roughly 1.25% of the network. So there's the maths that is now complete from basically complementing what I was doing yesterday. Couldn't do the math yesterday, but yeah, there you go. They have 1.25% of the total network supply, and they want to own up to 5% of it, and it's doable. They just need a couple million more dollars, couple hundred more million dollars. I think it's 300 million in total is what it was. Because Zcash has a max supply, like Bitcoin. It's using Bitcoin's tokenomics with 21 million max supply. That kind of deal. You get it. So, there you go. Good for them. We have hedge fund manager updates. I talked about this earlier this week, about this Friday today was going to be the day where a lot of these companies were going to disclose their new holdings, including Berkshire Hathaway and all these other companies. I couldn't find, the big post. I forget which account posts it that shows like what everyone has bought and sold. We're going to talk about it here either way. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway just filed a portfolio update. They opened a new position on Google. $4.3 billion position on Google. Okay. They have $300 billion in cash, by the way. Not Google, Berkshire Hathaway. So $4.3 billion of that is going into Google. They must know something. No, they clearly don't. But I'm sure they said it's brain dead to believe that Google is a bad investment. Of course, it's a good investment. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it gets replaced by AI. That's always seems to be the case, right? Google tends to crash whenever some AI company like OpenAI says, oh, we're going to be unleashing our new browser that is AI powered. And everybody's like, oh no, Google Chrome is going to waste. So there's that. But anyway, so there's Berkshire Hathaway. We also have Soros, whom we all love, of course, the Soros Fund Management. They massively increased their Amazon stake by 482%. They also bought Google, 2,341% increase in their X position, and Apple, 1,555% increase in their X position. But they also exited 89 positions in Q3 of this year. That is crazy. How much were they even buying into? I don't know. Global Macro Fund runs a $5.1 billion portfolio across 124 positions with heavy convertible bond exposure. Is it just me or is that not a lot of money? 5.1 billion? If Berkshire Hathaway owns 300 billion in cash, the rest of it, however many more it is, obviously is in assets. Am I reading this wrong? Anyway. They had the massive ads in Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Mr. Cooper. I've never heard of that. Bought 127,000 shares. Or they increased their exposition to 146,000 rather. Okay. They bought new positions in an ETF. Ticker is RSP. That's the Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight ETF. I don't know specifically what it does. They bought Ford Motor Notes. Figure Technology, they bought Disney, Sunrun, Kodiak AI. They have new hedges with Vanex Semiconductor ETF, SMH, Crane Shares China Internet, I've never heard of that, and TLT, we all know that, the Treasury, 20 plus year Treasury from iShares, and call options. The complete exits, they left Nike, that's not good, I have Nike, CSX, I don't know what that is. Canadian Pacific, RIP Canada, Tesla. It seems like Tesla's losing popularity too. And Walgreens. I'm pretty sure they were not performing well either, Walgreens. Top holdings is now Amazon, Smurfit Westrock, I don't know what that is, Spotify Notes, Global Payments Notes, and Alphabet, Google. The context is Soros aggressively pivots to big tech after years of underweight positioning. The 89 exits represent massive portfolio rotation toward mega cap growth and away from industrials, healthcare, and consumer discretionary. Also, the heavy China exposure via FXI calls and Queb calls suggest macro bets on stimulus, which we did cover too. The fact that China will be injecting something in yuan. In American dollars, it's $50 billion stimulus. What did I just do? I just slapped my keyboard. Where was I? Yeah, so betting on stimulus from China, which we talked about. The fund added defensive treasury and semiconductor hedges, while also loading up on AI infrastructure plays. I'm guessing that comes from Amazon and Google. Cool. Before I talk about this, surely we see the rest of them. Hedge fund updates. Give me the numbers. Come on. All right, no. Can I look up Warren Buffett? I'm gonna look for that one account that posts all this. This is what I'm looking for. Sold more Apple. Wow, okay. Bought Google and added to previous positions. Didn't buy United Health. I mean, fair enough. Especially with what Trump has been saying with no more to these insurance companies. Americans will probably own their own private insurances instead of giving their money to all these big companies that end up profiting off of Americans. That's what he doesn't like. So there's that. Bought more Chubb Limited, Domino's Pizza. Why? SiriusXM, Lamar Advertising, Leonard Corp. He bought Google. The rest of them were just adding to the positions. Google is an actual buy. He sold off reducing positions, Nucor Corp, DaVita Healthcare, Bank of America, Apple, VeriSign, and sold off completely DHI, Dr. Horton. That's going to be it's not a good sign for whatever this company does. I bet we're going to see a big red candle on Monday for that. What is this called? Why can't I see this? Where do I see this? I want more of this for other companies. What do you talk about here? Q3 13F? 13F filings, is that what it is? I think that is what it is. Yeah, these are other companies. I want to see if there's like anyone I could genuinely recognize. Oh, here's a bigger list. Oh, it's just the majority staying the same. United Health is still there, so he still owns United Health, but didn't buy or sell it. Okay, fair enough. Michael Burry. Yeah, it was Michael Burry. I was right. His name. Is this the same chart? For who? Bridgewater? Don't know who that... Oh, there's Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio. I'm not reading all that, but it's there if you care. Okay, anyway. Oh, Bill Ackman. Reducing his position on Uber, Brookfield, Restaurant Brands, and Google. Reducing on Google while Warren Buffett buys Google. Conflict of interest? No, that's not what it is. Anyway, moving on from all that, there's the... Today was the big day for that, where they revealed their filings for what they did in Q3. All right. I wanted to talk as well about Thomas Matthew Crooks, the assassination attempter on Donald Trump last year, July 13, Butler, Pennsylvania, we all know about. Tucker Carlson covered a 30-minute documentary, which I looked at, basically confirming what everyone was suspecting for years, is that federal officials knew who Thomas Crooks was prior to the Butler event, and that he had harbored a deep hatred for Trump with the intent to take him out. Was he groomed by dark MK Ultra level intel programs, or was it an inside job? Here's everything we know. He began as a strong Trump supporter, which was covered in the documentary, but reversed during COVID, even as the FBI tried to paint him as a right-winger, which is true. Whenever we look up anything about this guy, it seems like he was a right-winger. He was very pro-Trump. Then why was he going to kill Trump, right? Didn't make sense. You could find his YouTube history, like using the Wayback Machine and all that, or Internet Archive, I think it was, where he was constantly commenting on like news channels and stuff that had to do with politics and literally sending death threats like, oh, these people should be lined up and shot. I hate these people. I hope somebody will pull the trigger on them or something. Stuff like that is crazy stuff this guy was saying from very early on. This is like 2019 type deal. He first pushed violence against Democrats, and then he turned on Republicans. This happened after COVID, right? After Trump lost the election, calling Trump supporters a cult, and even called them racist at one point. Even wrote that the way to fight with the government was to track down important politicians and try to assassinate them. So this should have been more than enough to put the guy on a list for the FBI to know that, okay, this guy's potentially dangerous. Well, I don't know. Clearly they didn't do the right thing here. A mystery account called Willie Tepps, tied to a designated terrorist group, started encouraging him, and Crooks' online activity disappeared right after, which is also true. The fact that we don't have too much information on the guy, even till this date, to the point where Tucker Carlson has to be our detective work, right? From 2019 to 2020, he was searching up Trump over 700 times, along with terms like Jack Ruby, mass shooting locations, car running over protesters, Trump civil war, AR-15 firing, things like that, right? Obviously, this guy should have been on the list. Feds claimed he had no online presence, but He did have hundreds of YouTube comments, encrypted emails, Snapchat, Discord, multiple payment apps. His accounts were potentially either deleted or cleared by the FBI. The agents quickly broke into Crooks' phone and dug through his computer on foreign encrypted accounts, but none of that information was ever shared with the public. Surveillance footage was confirmed to exist, but it's being withheld, of course. Crooks was roaming the property with an AR-15 and was even able to fly a drone above the venue. Something about this drone part was that also the Secret Service that was there beforehand, they would have been scouting the area to make sure there was nothing suspicious going on. They laid down temporarily to, I don't know, regroup or whatever, and that's when he flew his drone around to scout the area, Thomas Crooks. And then, it flew for 10 or 11 minutes, I think is what they said. And then they resumed their security measures after that. It's like way too coincidental. So lucky. And then also the fact that he got cremated 10 days after Butler, the same day the investigation began. Why cremate the evidence? The evidence is just some darn kid with a bullet in his head, but I don't know. I don't know what they would have done with it, but yeah. Well, as we all know, if you don't know how it went, Secret Service counter sniper shot him in the head immediately as soon as the first couple shots started ringing out. But the damage was already done, right? Trump got shot in the ear, and some other person in the audience also got killed, and other people got injured, right? So, but anyway. The day after the shooting, FBI agents were hosing down the scene themselves, even though they usually contract out third-party cleanup crews. That was also suspicious. Like, the fact that they were the ones in charge of cleaning up the scene, no, should have been somebody else, but whatever. Something very dark happened here, and it's all being covered up. That was a day that changed the course of history and is just being swept under the rug. American people demand answers. And here's like some of the YouTube comments that this guy was leaving, by the way. Yeah, I'm not reading all of it, but there you go. That was the big news that came out from Tucker Carlson about Thomas Crooks, right? And, I mean, the FBI was fast to reply to all of this, right? Tucker Carlson released it. Well, he put this post out here saying, the FBI told us Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump last summer, but somehow had no online footprint. FBI lied. We can prove it. We have his post. Question is why. Story comes out tomorrow. Came out today. Watched it. FBI replies saying, this FBI has never said Thomas Crooks had no online footprint, ever. So, we also have a community note. In a July 30, 2024 Senate hearing, the FBI director, Paul Abate, disclosed a social media account believed to be associated with the shooter. Abate went on to describe a general absence of other information to date from social media. Because fair enough, last year, Kash Patel was not in charge. This year he is, but still there has been no information released, at least under this one. And the fact that they, I talked about this Twitter account being released, the FBI Rapid Response. I literally followed it yesterday, and this is what they came out with today. The FBI created an account today just to respond to Tucker Carlson. How embarrassing is what people are saying. But, it's gotten so much attention by now that Kash Patel has also come out to talk about it here. He released an overview on the Trump attempted assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks case. He says that over 480 FBI employees were involved in the Thomas Crooks investigation. Employees conducted over 1,000 interviews, addressed over 2,000 public tips, analyzed data extracted from 13 seized digital devices, reviewed nearly 500,000 digital files, collected, processed, and synchronized hundreds of hours of video footage. They examined data associated with 25... Okay. The FBI's investigation into Thomas Crooks identified and examined over 20... You just repeated the same thing. Tell us something new. That's literally the same thing. The investigation, conducted by over 400, again the same thing, revealed Crooks had limited online and in-person interactions, planned and conducted the attack alone. I think this is the bottom line. And he did not leak or share his intent to engage in the attack with anyone. I mean, he's been really posting that online a lot, but this is the main takeaway, is that the guy planned and conducted the attack alone. There was no other person involved, or entity for that matter. Which I'm not sure if we should really believe that. Oh, I mean, whatever. Believe everything the government tells you. Go for it. Be my guest. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't believe. What do I think? It was BlackRock. BlackRock tried to kill Trump. Did you guys see that though? Like, I'm not for, don't sue me for defamation, BlackRock. Okay, I'm only a young guy making jokes on the internet, but didn't they have a commercial like a year before that whole event happened within that same building, whatever the building was about? I don't know where, where the rooftop where Thomas Crooks was shooting from, that building. They owned some part of it, BlackRock, like they were investors in something with whatever company was working there. They were investing in that company. There was a commercial released by BlackRock with Thomas Crooks in that commercial. And I think that's it. That's all the evidence I have. Oh, and weren't they also shorting? Oh, somebody was shorting the Trump Media Technology stock because the assassination attempt happened on a Saturday. Stock markets close on Fridays, the last day, right? And right before the markets closed on Friday, somebody opened a really big short on the DJT stock, right? The Trump stock, meaning, of course, they were expecting Trump to be killed and for that stock to crash to zero. So they were even trying to maximize their profits on that potential assassination, which, thank God, ended up not happening. And obviously they got liquidated, and I'm pretty sure the stock rose the next day. What even happened on that day? July 13. I think it was July 13, right? DJT. 2024 July. Well, yeah, this is what happened. Huge gap, right? Friday, July 12. Market closes. No big deal. July 13, assassination attempt happens. La la la. Trump survives. July 15, market opens. Boom. Skyrockets to, well, 31% rise, by the way. It doesn't look like it's big, but it's huge. 31% rise from being $30 to $45 at its peak. 46. And then people were taking their profits, and it's, by the way, this stock is like really low right now. We're at all-time lows. $11.07. We hit a low of $11.01, which is a price we have not seen since its inception, really. Ignoring this IPO price. Huge gap over here, by the way. What even happened? 356% in one day. Oh. Odd. Is it a good idea to buy here? I mean, this stock, by the way, is heavily involved with Crypto.com. In case you forgot, they had a huge partnership. They were buying a certain amount of Kronos tokens, and Kronos is buying a certain amount of these shares. Both are not doing too well because of how the whole crypto market is doing in general, so none of them are benefited, and whatever optimism was sparked from it, which I'm assuming is this rise over here. I'm pretty sure it was. No, that's April. Couldn't have been. Pretty sure it happened in like July or something. Whenever Kronos was rising, where is that token? I know I'm being a bit more like a detective on this stream, but trust me, Kronos. I know what I'm talking about. This rise over here. When did it happen? It happened in August. It was not a huge benefit on this one. Yeah, we were really oversold at that time, and we still are. Maybe a bounce. I wouldn't bet on it, honestly. I'm rather just stay out of it for now. I mean, I don't know. It does like to do this just on a random day, right? Or even if it's not this, it's this. What even happened in July 2023? Were you even alive in that time? I remember this rise happening live, March. This is assassination attempt rise. This is election victory, October, November, right? Peaked over here. And then ever since then, it's just been downtrend. So, I mean, it's up to you. I'm staying out of it. I do personally have Kronos because I trade on it. I trade with the Crypto.com platform. On-ramping, off-ramping, I use that. Especially to buy on spot market. So it's the easiest way for me. Yep. All right. So that's where I think I'll end it off here. I do like the recovery that we're seeing now. And like I said, this is what I'm hoping for, is to stay above that red line, the 96,145. It's basically the super trend line, which indicates whether or not this bull run is still in effect, which, in my opinion, should be, right? Look, there's no more downtrend anymore. Used to be at 131,000. That bearish super trend, no longer there. The repainting is real, and it will only be confirmed by the time that this week ends, which will be by the weekend, in case you didn't know. So that's all. I'm going to go to bed. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. We're really close to 500 subs. Would be great if you enjoy the content, if you find any information useful. I'll stop begging after 500, I promise. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow again, 9 p.m. Unless I'm doing something important. I don't know. Yeah, I won't be doing anything important. All right.